Aquarius. So this is going to be your astrology forecast for the month of January. And so what I'm doing here is really taking all of those major transits, everything that's happening from that kind of broader perspective, and I'm going to tell you how it affects you so you can kind of understand how your month is going to progress, what topics might come to the surface. And it's really more, it's about arming you with information so that you can lean into the energy and not really resist it so much, because all of this energy is kind of just going to ebb and flow. But when I was putting everything together, the one thing I did notice is we have a lot of Capricorn energy in the month of January. And so for you, this indicates a real big emphasis on your personal finances. This is going to impact your second house. And so think of it like your savings. This would be money that you already have, not money you would receive from an outside source. So just keep that in mind as I go through this. So jumping right in, on January 1st, we have Mercury stationing direct in the sign of Sagittarius. And so for you, that's going to impact your third house. So let's talk about this for a second. So we have Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communication. So it's the way you speak, it's what you say, it's also how you process information. When it stations direct, this indicates some sort of outward expression. And from a Sagittarius standpoint, this would be that big picture perspective. And so when it comes to, and so literally your third house is the third house of communication. So it's communication. It could be short distance travel. There might be some travel happening here. And that might be connected to your finances as well, because Mercury was in Capricorn when it stationed retrograde in December, and then it retrograded into Sagittarius. And so now it's going direct. And so it will eventually, a couple weeks later, end up back in Capricorn. But for now, it is stationing direct in Sagittarius. And so this could be communication. It could be siblings, could be your neighbors, could be things like that. So kind of thinking of like close to home type of energy. Again, short distance travel, communication. Then on the 4th, we have Mars entering Capricorn. And so this is where we're getting your personal finances involved. And so what actions do you need to take when it comes to your money? Capricorn is a long-term game plan. This is not like a 6 months, 1 year. This is more like 10 years, 20 years, lifetime, retirement. What kind of plan are you setting into motion right now? Because Mars is action. So what is it that you need to do? What is it that you want in order to feel balanced and feel like you have enough money, that you feel secure in what you have, that you would feel comfortable retiring at whatever age it is that you want to retire? And so something along those lines. So just understand that today versus that long-term goal, not everything that you decide today is going to play out exactly the way you think it will. There are going to be some things that maybe aren't clear right now that will need to be modified in the future. So allow yourself to be open and flexible to whatever changes to the strategy you need in order to still achieve the results that you want. On the 11th, we have the new moon in Capricorn. And so again, still impacting your personal finances. So what's going to happen here is we'll have the sun, moon, Mars, and Pluto all in the sign of Capricorn. So the sun is going to be how you express yourself. The moon is going to be how you internally process everything. Mars is the actions that you're going to take. And so Pluto, transformation. So what is it that you need to change? What is it that you want to change about your personal finances? Because this is your opportunity to change it. Do you need to let go of something? Do you have this spending habit that you want to do away with? Do you want to create a better savings habit? Maybe that's something that you've really struggled with in the past. You've always had enough for your bills, but you never really prioritized savings. So this would be something that, you know, you're trying to create now. You're working on this long-term strategy for yourself. And so really kind of focus on what you want here. And really any kind of blocks that you might have for that financial security that you're seeking, keep that up, keep that in mind. Don't hold yourself back. That's what this energy is trying to encourage you to do. On the 13th, we actually have Mercury now going back into Capricorn. So this is going to impact your second house of finances. And at this time, what's going to happen here is we have the sun, Mars, Pluto, and Mercury in your house of personal finances. So the moon, gone. It's already moved on. But still have that sun, so that expression. With Mercury, now you're really expressing exactly what it is that you want. And from a Mars standpoint, what actions are you trying to take in connection to this transformation? So now you're aligning your words and your actions with what you want. And so this is a really great energy to kind of take what you've been thinking about and really start implementing that plan. This transformation that's taking place is being blessed by the universe. Jupiter is in the mix. It is touching this. It is not outwardly in the mix because Jupiter is not in Capricorn, but it is touching on this entire transit. So really, whatever you're trying to establish now, there's a lot of positivity connected to it. There's a lot of success connected to it. So really, especially if you're trying to expand your money, which I don't know why you would be trying to contract it, but you know, you kind of understand where that's going. And then on the 20th, we actually have two different things happening here. And so we have the Pluto and Sun at the exact same degree point in the sign of Capricorn. And then later both move into Aquarius. And so when they're in Capricorn, they're actually at 29 degrees. So they're at the same degree point. This is a karmic degree point. This also indicates there is a closure that's happening here. So all of these changes you've been trying to implement in your life when it comes to your personal finances, this is now coming to that kind of pivotal moment. Pluto has actually been in Capricorn for the most part. I mean, it does go back and forth in some of these retrogrades, but it's been here since 2008. So what have you been trying to do for your personal finances since 2008? This is that kind of closing point. This is that, okay, I've learned all of these lessons about my finances. This is the game plan I've come up with for myself. And now that's a solid plan. Jupiter's blessing it. And so that's what that indicates. Now, there will be a time later in 2024 where you're able to go back and kind of revisit this a little bit. But for the most part, this is the closing of this cycle. Because then later in that same day, we'll have the Sun and Pluto both enter the sign of Aquarius. And so this is going to impact your first house. So this is who you are. This is your physical body. This is your outward appearance to everybody around you. This is how people perceive you. And so Pluto will be here for roughly 20 years. So until 2043. You got a glimpse of this in March through June of 2023. And yes, 2023 to 2043. Pluto is not a fast-moving planet at all whatsoever. And so when I talked about that cycle that was closing in Capricorn with your personal finances, that will not be revisited in this lifetime. That is something that will, well, it's because Pluto takes about 250 years to travel through the Zodiac, and so we won't be alive. But when it enters Aquarius, and now you're talking about yourself, there's something here that is going to be, you're making modifications to who you are, like your whole persona here. With Aquarius, this is going to be a liberating change. This is going to be, I want to say it's like radical changes to yourself. It's outside of the box kind of changes to yourself. So just not what you would maybe have thought you would do 5 years ago, 10 years ago. What you're doing now is you're going to be making really modifications to who you are. So explore the depths of your emotions here, because whatever needs to change, it's going to be internal as well as external. So really focus on that. Later, so a couple days later, on January 23rd, we have Venus entering the sign of Capricorn. And so this is really kind of solidifying, okay, I've thought about my long-term plan. Venus entering Capricorn, I've now developed this healthy relationship to money. That's exactly what this is about. Venus is about relationships. Capricorn can be about money, but because it's hitting your second house, this is about money. So this is really feeling solid and good and healthy about the direction that your finances are going. On the 25th, we do have the full moon in Leo. And so this is going to impact your 12th house. The moon in Leo wants you to express yourself in a creative way. It wants you to be authentic. So really anything here, and again, there's going to be an interplay here with the first house and that 12th house energy, because whatever modifications you're starting to understand about yourself and maybe starting to make connected to who you are, there's an authenticity component with the 12th house. And so with this full moon energy, what is it that you need to let go of? Are you holding yourself back from expressing yourself creatively? I don't know why I can't get that word out, but are you holding yourself back at all? Is there something here that you need to explore a little bit deeper? Because this is definitely, Leo is action. The moon is internal. So the moon is really just that processing of emotions. So this is really an internal action that you're going to take to release whatever has been holding you back. And then on the 27th, we have Uranus stationing direct in the sign of Taurus. And so Taurus, again, it's what you value, it's what you want. It is actually ruled by Venus. And so we have, it's going to station direct. This is going to impact your career. So from that standpoint, what do you value in your career? What is it that you want there? Because Uranus is going to shake things up for you. Like it or not, Uranus is going to free whatever barriers exist, whatever restrictions take place. Uranus can have an impact. So, like, do you need to change jobs? That might be the case. In order to get what you want, with your finances, do you need to change jobs? In order to feel secure in yourself in that first house energy, do you need to change jobs? And so there is something here with a sudden change in your career, maybe your public reputation, maybe this is a promotion, maybe this is some sort of new opportunity presenting itself. And so up until it was direct, you might have understood and maybe started to notice some changes within yourself. Like, let's say you were always happy in your job and you liked what you were doing and you really saw yourself doing this for a while. And then all of a sudden you didn't. You thought, this doesn't work for me anymore. That's Uranus. That's the kind of energy it brings. But that would have been internal. And so now with it stationing direct, maybe you're just no longer happy in your career and you need to pursue something different. And so what steps do you need to take in order to do that? Because Uranus is opening the door for you here. And then with Uranus stationing direct, that actually opens it up. So all the planets are going to be direct. And so all the planets are going to be direct for roughly 2 months. So from the 27th of January until April Fool's Day, when, of course, Mercury stations retrograde, you're going to see a lot of forward movement, a lot of progress being made. And specifically when it comes to, I mean, I can see it here with everything that's been happening during the month of January, you're going to see this progress. So Aquarius, let me know what you think of this. If this works for you, doesn't work for you. If you like this format, definitely let me know. And I welcome any feedback. So hopefully this did resonate. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Take care.